Welcome everyone, this is Polyfields and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at lasers in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Sans Wenda.
Hello.
Hello there, Sans. It looks like it's just us tonight.
It does look that way.
Everyone else must have gotten lost in raids or something.
Yeah, or maybe they changed their clocks already.
Ooh, that could be a problem. Yes, that's right, because Europe changed their clocks this week, but not the Americans. They do that tonight, tomorrow morning, whichever you call it. While we're
Very
probably
early
sleeping.
in the morning while
Yes.
I'm planning to be sleeping.
Yes. Let's into our game news, where Sandstorm Games has moved their offices finally. Sandstorm Games, when they split off from Turbine, decided to rent offices in their old space at Turbine, and they've been doing that. I think they've been doing that for however many years it is since they split off from them, and I think those are the offices they've been using. Well, they finally moved their offices and out of that space and into their own space, and they were doing that early this week on this and probably getting some things still set up and all. But because of that, there were a few hiccups that slowed down the preparations of Before the Shadow, so they have decided that they are going to push back the release of Before the Shadow to November 15th, 1 week later than originally planned, because they felt that they could not get the product out properly due to the move that was happening all this week. So yes, we'll have to wait another week. Now, we don't know if there's going to be a third beta or not. They had to cancel the beta that they're planning last week because of the move, because they're going right through the move on it, because it's supposed to come out either on the 1st or 2nd for that third beta, and obviously that didn't happen. We're hoping that maybe there'll be another one next week, but there's no guarantee on that at the moment. But for now, Before the Shadow is now scheduled to release on November 15th rather than the 8th. Now, does that make things harder for you, Sans, or does it make things easier for you?
Oh. That kind of just... I don't know that it does anything actually harder or easier. Because my schedule's all messed up the week of the 8th. But because my schedule's all messed up the week of the 8th, any extra time that I might have had for gaming will probably be spent sleeping. So then I'll probably still be tired, though, going into the week of the 15th. I don't know. We'll see.
I guess we'll see that. And that's what's happening on that matter. Now, there was another thing that they wanted to note, and that is that on the week of the release, when the release comes out, the mission quests are going to be reset. Those mission quests for on a mission and on a continuing mission, those weeklies are being reset at the point of release. That means that, say they release on the 15th, as they're currently now planning on doing, that means they'll reset on the 15th, and of course they'll reset again on the 17th, which is the Thursday, because they also so you'll have a short week in there. So it's highly recommended that you try to get those quests done within the 5 days in there, so that you would be able to have the ball reset properly. Sans is probably not going to have time to do even 15 missions based on what she just said, so it doesn't matter on her side.
Yeah, I was trying to think, do I have any missions, quests open that I need to try to complete? Because having more time to complete them would be nice, but I don't really feel like checking to see, so it'll probably just reset them for me.
Yeah. And finally, they made a note that the Shadowfax server has raised its level cap to 115, because Shadowfax is moving along towards the level cap at a pretty fast clip.
Whoa.
What?
115 already.
115 already, yes. By my calculations, they're going to hit 140 around May.
That seems about right.
Yeah, so if they hit 140 in May, then there's going to be the question is, what's going to happen to the Shadowfax server? Because we know what happened to Honor when that happened, but I don't know if there are some people who want to have a special rules server around permanently, because I know there are some people who really like the landscape difficulty changes that they have on Shadowfax, and I don't think there are any plans of bringing that over onto the main servers, so might they might keep Shadowfax just so that those who like that particular feature can have it still.
Which would be pretty nice for people who want that feature.
Yes. And I personally don't want that feature on the main server, so having a place for the ones who do like that feature to play it is probably a good idea. And that's it for our gaming news. So let's head out to our store sales and Sans. What's on sale this week?
Well, this week, the sales are going to help you stand out from the crowd. You have 25% off select shared wardrobe and more through November 10th. And you can get a free universal ingredient pack with the coupon code free ingredient. Now through November 10th.
Right now through November 10th, and that is, of course, our sales for this week. It's a rather short list on the sales.
It is. That and more might be doing a lot of work, but it might just be like one other thing I haven't actually looked to find out.
Yes. Oh, I don't know.
A sale on shared wardrobe, though, is pretty cool. If you can still buy more shared wardrobe space.
Yeah, I found out today that I had one more shared wardrobe space that was available, so I did pick that up.
Nice.
And I was, on Langeable at least, getting pretty close to running out of space. Of course, Langeable would be the one where I'd be almost running out of space.
Right.
Yeah. So let's head into what we did in week gaming this week. Sans, what were you up to?
Well, my Hobbit lore master did a little bit more festivaling and learned almost all of the festival dances this week. So, she now needs just one more because I showed up there and the dwarf walked out to start dancing and I was like, man, I've got to finish getting ready to work.
Oh.
I can't wait 20 more minutes for him to reset. So, I believe I logged off in Thorns Hall. But, I got all but one of the festival dances learned between girls and logging in during the festival. So, that was pretty fun.
Okay.
And I did some roofing on the new trading hall on our Minecraft server. And now need to figure out how to light it because the torches work, but I want something different, I think. So I'm going to work on that and then workshop a little bit more where they're going to sleep.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It still needs some work. But
now, are you thinking of lanterns or frog lights or what?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I just feel like I took time to make it look nice, and then the torches look really
I know what you mean.
Not quite the same level of niceness. It looks more like I robbed a cave and just stuck it in there. So I don't know. Lanterns might work. I'll keep thinking.
You keep thinking on that. All right.
How was your week, Pineleaf?
And I'll begin with my Hunter on Langeable. Actually, just about everything is with my Hunter on Langeable. This was my Langeable Hunter week. That's all I got to say about that. Because I reached level 140 and completed the Legacy of Durin quest line. So, yay on that. So, everything is all nice on that matter. And since I had this newly capped character in there, when at the field trip we had only 3 people there, we decided, how about, since we really don't want to play our current characters there because our current characters on the Onarkenstone that we have there that we usually play with. We are right at the point where we're supposed to do that session play for the Stone of Erich, and we were thinking they're making that quest optional in a couple of weeks. Why don't we just hold back on that particular quest until it becomes optional? Then what we will do is instead, we went over to Langeable, visited over there, and took some of our cap characters. I just played my hunter there, so my hunter got a little bit more work this week. And we ran at least one skirmish, plus we ran the Harrowing of Morgul. Then on Friday Night Fights, I decided, of course, since I had a new capped character, I would take that character over to Friday Night Fights, and we actually had 10 near capped characters this week, which is the most we've had in a long time. Normally we have about 6 of those. And we decided, all right, let's run a raid. Now, I was expecting that the raid we'll be playing were going to be a couple of scrades or something like this, but it turned out that one of the people there never did the skirmish tutorial. Oops. Yeah. So that was a bit of a problem. So because they didn't do that, we couldn't do skirmishes.
And this person was not you, Pineleaf?
No, it was not me because I had. In fact, I'm getting pretty close to Skirmisher Middle Earth on that character. So
nice.
yeah,
I think it would be kind of funny if you had an Aryad character that you forgot to skirmish with. But
no, I was doing that.
I can't actually imagine it happening. I just had to check.
I think there might have been one time where I had an Aryad character where I didn't have a chance yet to do Moria. So I didn't have the Moria skirmishes.
That makes sense.
I think I had the Mirkwood ones, but not the Moria ones. So there's always that little possibility on there. But as for what we did then is first we thought, hey, how about we see what it's like to do Hidden Horde? Well, it turned out that you have to be 140 in order to do Hidden Horde, so that got nixed. So we eventually settled down on Barad Guldur. And I am trying to think if I've ever done Barad Guldur on level before. Because I think I remember being inside of that dungeon, maybe doing that dungeon, but I don't remember those boss fights really well. And usually when you don't remember boss fights, it means you went in there way over leveled and you just creamed them. But we went in there, we had 1 or 2 wipes during the course of it, but we did manage to finally defeat all 3 of the bosses and complete the raid. So I think that went reasonably well, considering that we only had 10. We had a couple of them who were slightly underleveled, and I had just leveled to 140, so I wasn't exactly the best equipped character out there either. So I think it went very well considering all of that. And that is what I did in LOTRO this week. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. We can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Our money will be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@lotraplayers.com, or you can follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, LOTRO Players at LOTRO Players, Pineleaf at Pineleaf News, and Sanswinda at Sanswinda. And the Players Alliance has 2 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And you can join us for our shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And that this is Pineleaf News reminding you to skirmish responsibly.